While there are many smartphones claiming to have full display, you can't really take them seriously thanks to their various notch design that still affects the display to some point. But the Mi Mix 3 is one of the legit ones. Full display, no notch, no hideously obvious bezels, and not even the punch hole display that you can still spot on your screen. So here are my thoughts on the newest model of the Mi Mix series. The Mi Mix 3 comes with a 6.39-inch Super AMOLED display, and honestly that's the first thing I noticed and loved about the phone. I've tried out a few phones before, but when I first used the Mi Mix 3, I just felt that the display is so on point thanks to its great viewing angles and colour vibrancy. It gave me the HD feeling more than most of the phones I've tried out. Like I've mentioned, the Mi Mix 3 really does have a full display because it has a sliding mechanism that holds its front cameras. It's even better because the slider can be set to perform different type of functions. You can use it for selfie, launching apps, and also launching tools like recorder, timer, calculator, and so on. It's great that the slider serves more than just replacing a notch. Moving on, the Mi Mix 3 comes with an aluminium frame and a ceramic back, and I love that it has the looks of a flagship smartphone. The Mi Mix 3 weighs around 218 grams and it doesn't feel like an easily broken phone, yet it's also not too heavy for you to notice its weight. In addition, the slider also feels solid because it's magnetic, so you won't accidentally slide open the front cameras when you're using the phone. While it has Corning Gorilla Glass 5, it's still slightly worrisome to drop the Mi Mix 3, especially when the phone is slide open. Another downside of its ceramic back is that the phone is a fingerprint magnet, so you'll need to either put on a case that is included when you get this phone or carry around a cloth to constantly wipe your phone. Also, thanks to the slider, the Mi Mix 3 will sometimes retain more dust compared to other smartphones. That aside, the Mi Mix 3 uses a traditional fingerprint mount on its back, so you won't be seeing the newer in-display fingerprint feature. However, I think the fingerprint unlock and face unlock both works great because both methods unlock pretty quickly and accurately most of the time. Unfortunately, the Mi Mix 3 does not have a headphone jack and its speakers are only mediocre. Personally, I would have preferred the phone to come with dual stereo speakers. However, the phone does come with a dongle, so at least you only need to own a normal wired earphone. This Mi Mix 3 comes with a Snapdragon 845 processor and 6GB of RAM with 128GB of storage, and so far it has worked great when it comes to my normal usage and gaming. Playing PUBG Mobile on this phone feels great because it doesn't have choppy frames even when I select HD graphics and high frame rates. As for casual tasks like social media browsing and video streaming, the phone works perfectly well. It's also worth noting that the Mi Mix 3 ships with MIUI 10 based on Android 9 Pie, but I've often expressed my preference for a simpler UI, hence it's obvious that I personally prefer something simpler and user-friendly. As usual, MIUI has too many options in its settings that can be rather difficult when it comes to finding a specific setting, and there's no app drawer to keep your apps in a place. The recent apps feature is also different in which the apps are placed 2 by 2 and you need to swipe either left or right to close the apps, which is rather inconvenient, especially when you're using one hand to do so. Now the Mi Mix 3 comes with a dual camera on its back consisting of a 12MP wide lens and a 12MP telephoto lens. The pictures taken with the Mi Mix 3 are actually great most of the time, though the highlights can sometimes be a bit overexposed. That being said, the camera is capable of capturing most of the details and the colors are really vibrant. Its 12MP telephoto camera works well because the details are captured even when you use the 2x zoom, and if you look at the pictures taken, you'll first think it's quite alright. However, if you actually take a closer look and zoom in into the picture taken, you'll realize that the noise is actually more visible compared to normal photos. Also, though the colors are really vibrant, the color accuracy is slightly off thanks to the AI processor. It increases the saturation of the subject taken, but at the same time leads to a slightly unnatural effect, especially when you compare it to the subject in real life. The camera bokeh works very naturally, it doesn't look overprocessed. You can spot the details on the wood clearly because it cuts out nicely, so it's actually almost similar to a DSLR's quality. As for low-light photography, the Mi Mix 3 do work best when I use the night mode because it looks more original and less overprocessed. Under really dark situations, the night mode can actually brighten up the whole image and offer more details compared to the normal mode. Now on its front, the Mi Mix 3 comes with a 24-megapixel primary sensor and a 2-megapixel depth sensor, and this works well for its portrait mode. The camera is able to blur out the background properly, but it can accidentally blur out the edges of your hair at times. That aside, I realized the selfies taken are great under good lighting, and even with the maximum level of beauty filter, it looks more natural compared to other phones' cameras because you still get a certain amount of detail in your selfie instead of a buttery smooth skin that looks like water painting. The Mi Mix 3 comes with a 3200 mAh battery, which I first found rather lacking for an Android flagship device, but it has proven to be quite lasting. Even when I binge on Netflix for a few hours, the phone can last me for the rest of the day if I just use it for social media browsing and whatnot. This phone also supports Quick Charge 4 Plus that can fully charge your phone within an hour, and also 10W wireless charging. I love that the company actually included a wireless charger with the phone because not every company will do so even if the phone supported wireless charging. The bottom line is the Mi Mix 3 worth its price? At the price of 2,299 ringgit, I say that this phone is definitely worth its price. It has a Snapdragon 845 processor, a great Super AMOLED display, a fancy slider, and also it supports wireless charging. Unless you're looking for specific quality in a smartphone, like a punch hole display or an in-display fingerprint sensor, I think that the Mi Mix 3 is a great option to consider as it comes with many flagship qualities, yet is much cheaper compared to many flagship devices. So that's it for my review of the Mi Mix 3. If you have one, you can share your thoughts with me in the comment section down below. Remember to subscribe to our channel KLGadgetTV, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!